Julius Caesar, one of history's most brilliant military minds. But what made him so formidable on the battlefield? Was it his fearless strategies, or the way he turned the odds in his favor time and again? From the treacherous lands of Gaul, where he faced fierce tribes, to the political tensions of Rome that pushed him into civil war, each victory solidified his unmatched reputation. In this video, we'll explore the defining battles that shaped his rise to power and transformed the Roman world forever. Let's dive into the extraordinary journey of Julius Caesar's greatest military triumphs, the Conquest of Gaul. In 58 BC, Julius Caesar faced a daunting challenge, uniting Rome's scattered legions to conquer the diverse and hostile tribes of Gaul, a region that stretched from modern-day France to parts of Germany. The Gauls were fierce warriors, known for their relentless resistance against Rome's advances. But Caesar's ambition drove him to press forward, turning every skirmish into an opportunity to strengthen his position. Battle of Alesia, 52 BC, marked the turning point. Caesar found himself surrounded by the Gallic leader Vercingetorix, who had rallied tens of thousands of warriors against Rome. Outnumbered and facing encirclement, Caesar devised a bold plan. He ordered the construction of a double line of fortifications, one to keep the Gauls trapped inside Alesia, and another to fend off reinforcements trying to break through from the outside. It was a massive undertaking, built under constant threat of attack. As days turned into weeks, supplies dwindled, and his men grew desperate. But Caesar's unyielding resolve kept morale intact, inspiring his soldiers to hold their ground. The final assault came when the Gallic reinforcements launched a massive attack. Amid chaos, Caesar personally led a counterattack, rallying his troops at a critical moment, turning the tide in Rome's favor. The victory at Alesia was decisive. It crushed the last major resistance in Gaul, bringing the entire region under Roman control. This triumph not only showcased Caesar's tactical brilliance, but also cemented his status as a military genius, forever altering the balance of power in the Roman Republic. The civil war begins, but Caesar's triumph in Gaul came at a cost. Back in Rome, his growing power alarmed the Senate, particularly figures like Pompey, once his ally. The Senate ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Defying them meant war, but for Caesar it was a risk worth taking. In 49 BC, Caesar made a decision that would change Roman history. He crossed the Rubicon River with his legions, a direct challenge to Rome's authority. As he stepped into Italy, he famously declared, "The die is cast," marking the start of a brutal civil war against Pompey and the Senate. Battle of Pharsalus, 48 BC, became the decisive clash in this struggle. Pompey commanded a larger army with more resources and strong support from the Senate. But Caesar's experience and tactical innovation turned the tide. Knowing he couldn't win through sheer numbers, Caesar positioned his most battle-hardened veterans in strategic formations, countering Pompey's cavalry and exploiting his enemy's weaknesses. The battle was fierce, and at moments, Caesar's forces seemed on the brink of defeat. Yet he remained calm under pressure, guiding his troops with precision. In the heat of battle, his veterans struck a critical blow, breaking through Pompey's ranks. Pompey's army collapsed, and he was forced to flee, leaving Caesar the undisputed master of Rome. This victory at Pharsalus did more than defeat a rival. It reshaped the Roman Republic and put Caesar on a path toward ultimate power. The final showdown in Egypt. The drama wasn't over yet. After his defeat at Pharsalus, Pompey fled to Egypt, seeking refuge. But upon arrival, he was assassinated by Egyptian forces, hoping to win Caesar's favor. Instead, this act drew Caesar deeper into Egypt's complex politics, where he found himself caught in a power struggle between Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy XIII. In 47 BC, the conflict escalated into the Battle of Alexandria. Caesar, with a small contingent of Roman troops, was trapped in the city, facing hostile forces loyal to Ptolemy. Despite being outnumbered and far from reinforcements, he chose to side with Cleopatra, forming an alliance that would shape the course of Egypt's history. Amid the chaos of Alexandria's narrow streets and shifting alliances, Caesar's situation seemed dire. Surrounded by enemy forces and cut off from Roman support, he was in a perilous position. Yet, he leveraged his tactical skills, using guerrilla tactics and strategic positions to keep the Egyptians at bay. His alliance with Cleopatra was pivotal, not just politically, but in maintaining control over critical supplies and the city's defenses. Tense fighting, Caesar managed to break the siege and defeat Ptolemy's forces, securing Cleopatra's rule over Egypt. This victory wasn't just about surviving, it was about turning a desperate situation into a strategic triumph. But this wasn't the end of Caesar's journey. With Egypt secured, he had to return to Rome, where new challenges and greater ambitions awaited. The return to Rome and legacy. After his victories in Egypt, Caesar returned to Rome as a hero. But the challenges he faced now were more complex than any battle. Power struggles with the Senate, whispers of conspiracy, and the immense expectations of the Roman people weighed heavily on him. Caesar's military success had brought him unprecedented power, but it also bred resentment among those who feared his dominance. With each political reform and title he assumed, his rivals grew more uneasy. His rise seemed unstoppable, but the very power that had defined his success also marked his downfall. Just 5 years after his triumph in Egypt, on March 15th, 44 BC, the infamous Ides of March, Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators, including some he once called allies. Yet, even in death, his legacy endured. The battles he fought and the territories he conquered reshaped Rome and paved the way for the rise of the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar's battles weren't just about territory. They were fights for power, survival, and the soul of Rome itself. His legacy as a military genius and a leader who forever changed Roman history lives on. Want to explore more about this legendary figure? Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on which of Caesar's battles you'd like us to cover in more detail. As Caesar once said, "We came, we saw, and there's still much more to conquer."